you check the children. Show a little match sometimes.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Sometimes. That is what
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Horror Show. I'm Cecil Laird.
Wolfman.
And we are here to review the brand new release, The Watchers, by Ishana Shyamalan. Or I'm not sure if she prefers Ishana Night Shyamalan, but it is the daughter of M. Night Shyamalan, and this is her first feature. And I gotta be honest, going into it, I was really excited based on the trailers. We did a couple of trailer reactions, and I was like, oh, it feels like a Shyamalan movie based on the trailer, but there's something interesting. I'm a big creature feature person, and when they indicated it might be creatures outside, I was like, well, they're not showing any creature stuff. I'm worried it's just going to be like stupid humanoid things, you know, which is always annoying and whatever.
They're just playing it.
Yeah. And I'm not going to say exactly what it was, because I think that's part of the fun of the movie. We'll kind of skirt around that, and we're going to keep this non-spoilery. But I will say that my overall thoughts ultimately were, I thought it was a good enough first try. I mean, the problem is I was way more into the first two-thirds than the last third. The first two acts were way more engaging than the last act, and they took a weird kind of direction in the last act that, like, it felt almost like an entirely different movie, or like a whole extraneous ending after, you know, the crux of the story that was advertised.
Yeah, pretty much. And I feel like a lot of us that we at least talked to, like, coming out of the theater, felt the same way about it.
Yeah.
But no, overall thoughts is, again, kind of, this was a damn good directorial debut. Like, she did a great job with this, and I did have a lot of intriguement from when we were doing the trailer reactions. Again, like Cecil said, like, he's a creature guy, I'm a creature guy, so when there was that implementation of, it's like, ooh, these little, what are these things in the woods kind of thing. And also, too, with having the Shyamalan name, you know it's going to have some little, maybe some twists and whatnot.
Maybe.
But the twists weren't twisty enough.
Yeah, I never felt like a Shyamalanian twist.
No, not at all. But it was damn well shot beautifully. And where, like, they were shot obviously in Northern Ireland, so, like, they had a lot of beautiful woodland things to work with. I'm a sucker for forestry stuff.
A cast basically of 4.
Yeah, it was, and it was a similar, like, kind of bunkerish style.
Yeah, and that's part of maybe my issue. Well, not really. That I don't normally like bunker movies.
No, I know.
But it wasn't entirely that.
No.
Like, they were able to go out during the day and
exactly.
stuff. So,
but they had a lockdown element,
right,
that they were stuck for.
And I didn't mind that. Yeah.
No, because it did serve the purpose of the story.
That was the interesting part of the story.
Yeah,
you know?
is why they were there and why they had to be there, kind of thing. But yeah, overall thoughts is I enjoyed most of the movie, just not the later half and the ending wrap up. That was pretty flat and kind of a little bit too much of a convenience.
Yeah, and while I very much liked the concept. I liked what the reveal was as far as what was out there.
Yes.
Because it's not something we've seen very many times. So I did like that. However, unfortunately, what is revealed is pretty CG heavy and becomes a little silly and is reminiscent, even though the explanation for what's out there is, you know, not used that often. The execution of those things was very familiar.
Yes.
The design, I'll say.
Yes, it was safe.
Yeah, we've just seen a similar design in other things. So the explanation is, you know, it's different, but the design is similar to things we've seen in the past.
And don't get me wrong, like, there were some really cool silhouette shots of the things and when we saw them. But there was one I mentioned to Cecil, like, as we were leaving out of the theater. It's like, from a certain aesthetic, so you can kind of take that guess of what it was. And
I didn't see the same thing he saw that he told me afterwards, but I guess it's possible, yeah.
Yeah, but no, how they at least keeping them in the dark was the nicer aspect about it, because again, they were very CG heavy for what we had. So practical effects, especially for some closer aspects when we finally do get them, would have been nice. But it is what it is.
It is what it is. So, I mean, that's a lot of overall, and that kind of talks about the effects right there. So we knocked that out. Story-wise, it's about Dakota Fanning's character. She is tasked with delivering a parrot to someone. She works at a pet store. And as she's driving through the Irish countryside and then the Irish forest area, her car breaks down, and she is forced to walk. And as it is getting dark, she sees a woman who basically tells her, if you're going to survive, you better get in here. And she rushes into this building that's basically a one-room bedroom set for 4 people with a giant glass wall. And then they tell her that, you know, they have to stand facing the glass at night so that something can watch them. The Watchers, you know, is what they call them. And basically the rest of the movie, again, we don't want to spoil how things play out, but the rest of the movie is what happens in that scenario. You know, why can't they leave? You know, what happens if they try? And what happens when things go wrong. And that's the long and short of it. And again, the first 2/3, which was pretty much that portion of the story, I really dug.
Same.
But then it you know, it went on, and I was like, wow, this feels a little weird.
There were some merits, though, I will say, in the latter half of the movie, especially when we delve into some of the lore. I did enjoy that aspect. I just wish they would have kind of touched on that a little bit sooner, maybe.
Maybe.
Like, I felt maybe it would have helped that third act a little bit better if they touched a little bit sooner on the lore. I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
I mean, that's the thing. The third act is kind of the twist, so to speak. And it's just kind of, it didn't play out very well. It ended up being a little bit on the cheesy side, unfortunately. But again, that doesn't take away from the product. I mean, from saying that it's a solid first directorial effort. Because it definitely was. It was well made, accomplished filmmaking, but it's just the story. You're either going to jive with it completely, or you're going to like 2/3 of it like we did, and like the people we talked to afterwards did,
and like,
or you're not going to like it at all.
Yeah, you know, and this is based off of a book and everything like that. So fans of the story might like the adaptation. The author did co-write with Shyamalan's daughter on this as well, so that definitely will help with bringing that novel to life.
Hope so.
Well, I hope so too. So if you read the book, let us know in the comments, like when you've seen this movie, how much of a compare and contrast kind of what it is.
Acting was great. I mean, it's 4 people, so there's really not that much to talk about there. I mean, there's a couple of other actors sprinkled, before and after kind of thing, but yeah, it's a small cast and everyone's solid.
True.
For sure. Although the one of the 4, the white-haired lady, she kind of plays a similar character in most of the movies she's been in recently.
She's very
she's the one that's got the knowledge,
leather hardened and everything.
Yeah, fair enough.
For lack of a better term, she's very leather hardened. But no, everyone else did great, especially the younger boy.
Yeah, he was good.
Like, I feel like he was one of the more standouts, even more for being just a supportive character.
So yeah, the acting was good, and then sound design and score, I thought those were great.
Yeah.
Sound design played a big factor in this one, because obviously it's things in the woods, and all you can do is hear them for a portion of the movie. And so yeah, it made a really big difference, and I thought they did a great job with both the sound design, and the score was appropriately haunting and creepy and unnerving where it needed to be, for sure.
Well, that's the nice thing too, is like they threw a little bit of like the Irish folk music in with like the modern score kind of thing. Like it played nice, because again, it's set in Ireland, so you got to have that type of themed music in there.
Yeah,
it's fun.
And then, like we said, filmmaking-wise, cinematography-wise, it was beautiful. Yeah, that was probably the strongest part of the whole movie.
Yep.
And she knew, Ishana Shyamalan really knew how to work with her cinematographer to create really beautiful shots, atmosphere.
No, the color palette too.
Yeah, the color palette was really beautiful. Yeah. Like it was just a fantastically made movie. Again, it's kind of going to be made or broken by the story and your thoughts on the story. Yeah. Because the acting's there, the filmmaking's there, the sound's there, the effects are mostly there.
They're ish there and everything.
The effects are there.
Yeah, but no, like, but
They're
that's the
just
thing
there.
too. It's like, and like sometimes what I'll say, like, especially with like certain like set design things, and like sometimes like simple works better.
Yeah.
And with this style, like obviously we've seen in the trailer, their setup, the simplicity of that works, and then once we start getting deeper, we get a little bit more detail and finer things and whatnot. But for the most part, it's all natural scenery that they're utilizing, and it was done beautiful. Like so. Congratulations on the for the location scouts on that.
So yeah, there you go, guys. That's gonna do it for our thoughts on The Watchers. Trying to keep it non-spoilery for you. So thank you very much for watching us, and thank you to all of our patrons for supporting the channel the way that you do. Until next time, though, I've been Cecil Laird,
Rob the Wolfman,
and remember, stay scared.